Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and this is the Astral Library. Now, don't let the spooky decor kind of fool you, not these beautiful webs. Unfortunately, spooky season is over, as sad as I am about it. How many of you felt like October was like stupid long? Because I did. I feel like this month took forever to be done, which is funny because I did a lot in this month, but it just seemed to crawl to a close. But we're done with spooky month and we are ready to move on to a new month, which means a new TBR. Unlike what I did for October, I am actually going to be returning to my TBR game. So I have it right here with me, the TBR Bookopoly, which is from Becca Reads a Lot, I believe. She's the creator of the Bookopoly board, and this is just my version of it. As you can kind of see, it's got prompts all the tops and the sides. So I'm actually gonna be doing 3 rolls instead of my traditional 4, just because I am in the midst of school and reading a book a week is sometimes really hard to do on top of the coursework I'm doing, as well as all the grading I have to do. So we're gonna give myself a little breather and do 3 books. So 3 rolls. I do not do the double rule. If I roll a double, I have to add a book, just because, again, I don't have the time for that. Nor do I punish myself. So the last time we did this TBR game was in September, and I had, I believe, 5 or so books on that TBR, and I completely failed. I think I read maybe 3 books in the entire month, only one of which was on the TBR, if that. I failed that, but there's no punishments because we are not trying to punish reading here. We are trying to just enjoy reading and enjoy getting through my TBR. So there's no punishments, and there will be no punishments if I don't complete my TBR for this month. All right, so let's go ahead and just dive straight into some of these rolls. Okay, so let's go ahead and go for roll number 1. Okay, so that is a 5. So last time we left off on TBR chance, so we're going this way on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, call a friend. Okay, that one's gonna take a minute. All right, so we have our first roll, which was call a friend. So I texted my friend Sarah, the ever-growing benefactor of this channel, and she has been trying to get me to read Neil Gaiman since like I met the woman, okay? And so on par with the course, she recommended The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. So she's actually gonna be bringing it to me tomorrow. So I don't have the physical book here, but I will pop a picture up right here so you can see what book I am talking about. From what she's told me, it is a children's book, which is very unique. I've never read Neil Gaiman and I haven't read children's literature in a very long time, so it's going to be a new experience all around, really. But she's described it as a tender but spooky story. That is all. I know. I cannot tell you what this book is about. It's going to be interesting. I will say that. Thank you very much, Sarah, for the recommendation and for letting me borrow the book so I don't have to go out and buy it. So just stellar best friend there. But let's go ahead and move on to roll number 2. Okay, let's go ahead and go for roll number 2. Ooh, that is a 9. Big number. Okay, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, no. Oh, I got a classic. That wasn't nice, board. Not in the slightest. Okay, for the second roll, the game was so mean to me. It decided to land me on classic, which... classics are the last thing I want to read while I'm in school, just because I'm already reading classics. So it's like, why do I want to do that in my free time when I'm away from classics? But alas, I do have some classics on my TBR that I have not read or have not fully read. And rather than like going through and trying to like pick one out myself, I figured we can consult the TBR jar. I've talked about how the color coding system in here represents different books. So I have black for fantasy, I have purple for contemporary, yellow for graphic novels, light blue for sci-fi, green for mysteries and thrillers. I have like a navy blue for like paranormal romances. I have red for miscellaneous, like just doesn't fit any one category. And then I have gray here, which represents classics. I'm going to pick a gray stick, and you will see me on camera do this, and I will read that classic. And by read it, I mean I might try to find an audiobook, just so I have a little of an easier time digesting this. Which one should I choose? Let's go with this one. All right. Oh. This could go so wrong so quickly. Okay. I'm pulling it out. Gonna show you. What is that? Can you see it? Oh, okay. This is not a terrible one. So this is the Arabian Nights. Let me go grab that. It's just up here. I have the Arabian Nights, which is a collection of short stories, I think. I don't know too much about this one. I know Aladdin, the Disney movie, is based on it, and I believe it's also somewhat of the basis of Wrath in the Dawn duology by Renee Attier. But let's go ahead and read the back here to kind of get a sense of what is Arabian Nights. So Aladdin had won the hearts of the people by his gentle bearing. He was made captain of the Sultan's armies and won several battles for him, but remained modest and courteous as before, and lived thus in peace and content for several years. That didn't tell me anything about what this book is. But yeah, I guess this is what I'm going to be reading. Okay, from what, just like kind of like looking at the contents page, it's definitely a whole bunch of short stories. This is what I'm gonna be reading for classics. I will say this could have been a lot meaner. So getting Arabian Nights was not bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our last roll for the TBR game. All right, last roll. What are we gonna get? Something nice, please. Okay, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, an ebook. Okay, well that at least balances it out, I guess. So for this one, we got ebook. Now, I have quite a few ebooks that I've just kind of collected over the years and I haven't quite read, and I will say I'm a little tempted to reread the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey just because it's been on my mind lately and I really like that series. But we're trying to stick with unread books, so in conjunction with maybe rereading the Mindfuck series, I have chosen to read The Lover by Silvia Moreno Garcia. So this is a short story that was part of the Amazon or Kindle First Reads for October, and I have a couple for Silvia Moreno Garcia books on my TBR, but I've never picked one up yet, but I hear amazing things about her writing. So I thought a short story would be a really good place to start with her, just because it's quick, it's easy, it's not too intimidating, and it will kind of give me a sense of what is her writing style. And even if I don't like this short story, it will give me enough of a sense of what to expect in terms of her writing in larger books. So yeah, that is my ebook. So those were all from my TBR game. However, my TBR is not going to stop there. I have a stack of hopeful books that I want to get to, but I'm not going to pressure myself into getting. So the first book I have is Snapdragon by Leyh, or Leyh? I'm not quite sure how to say her last name, but this is a graphic novel that I actually picked up from my local library. I'm not quite sure what this book is about, but my friend Cindy was really recommending this series to me, so I saw it at the library and I had to grab it, but let's go ahead and read the back. So Snap's town has a witch. At least that's the rumor. In reality, Jax is just a croc-wearing, internet-savvy old lady who sells a skeleton or roadkill online. It's creepy, sure, but Snap thinks it's kind of cool too. Snap needs a favor from this old woman though, so she begins helping Jax with her strange work. Snap gets to know her and realizes that Jax may in fact have real magic and an unlikely connection to Snap's family's past. Okay, so it's a little spooky, which is kind of nice. Coming out of spooky season, we can still kind of continue the vibe, and it's witchy, which is my favorite thing. So this is the first hopeful. The second hopeful I have is Pumkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. So this is another graphic novel. You'll see a common pattern here. But Pumkinheads is a graphic novel about 2 kids who work at a pumpkin patch every year, and I believe it's a romance between the 2 of them. And I believe this is their last year working at this pumpkin patch before they go off to college. It's a book that's been on my radar forever, but I haven't been able to get my own copy of it. I can just never find it when I'm out and about buying books. So when I saw it at the library, I said, you know what? I'm finally gonna pick it up and read it so I can see if I want to eventually get my own copy. So this is the second hopeful book. And just look at the pretty art. It's just fall vibes, and fall's on its way out, so let's send it with a bang and a long-awaited TBR pick. The other hopeful I have is M is for Monster by Talia Dutton. So this is another graphic novel that I picked up from my local library. From what I understand, it's kind of like a Frankenstein-esque story. Let me go ahead and read you the synopsis. So when Dr. Fran's I's younger sister, Mara, dived in a tragic accident 6 months ago, Fran swore she would bring her back to life. However, the creature that rises from the slab is not Maura. In fact, this girl who chooses the name M doesn't remember a single thing about Maura's life. Despite this, Fran expects M to pursue the same path that Maura has been on, applying to colleges to become a scientist and to continue the plans she and Maura shared. Hoping to trigger Maura's memories, Fran surrounds M with the trappings of Maura's past. But M wants nothing to do with Fran's attempts to change her into something she's not. In order to face the future, both Franz and M must learn to listen to each other and to let go of Maura once and for all. Ooh, so this is actually Talia Dutton's debut graphic novel, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at these colors. They're just so pretty. And I love Frankenstein. It's one of my favorite classic books. So I'm really interested in seeing the twist on Frankenstein and Frankenstein's creature. I think this is going to be a really sweet book that might tear my heart out, but it's okay because I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I do get to it in this month. The next hopeful I have is kind of like another leftover spooky month, and that is Batman The Long Halloween. So if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm a huge Batman fan, but I've yet to read any of the comics just because I'm so intimidated and there's so much I don't know where to start. I've heard that this is a really good collection of stories, and it's a little more like thriller mystery vibes, and that kind of seems up my alley, and I think I'm really gonna like this just from the premise alone, which seems to be a serial killer who's using Halloween as a way to kind of like mark his murders and kind of like a calling card almost. So I'm very interested to finally dive into a Batman comic, and a classic one at that, and hopefully I really enjoy it. And if I don't, I will find another one to start. But I'm a huge Batman fan, so I'm very excited to finally get over my fear and just read a comic. This is another hopeful. It is a bit of a chunker, but graphic novels I read really quickly, so I'm not too worried about it. And the last hopeful I have is actually a sequel read, and that is Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. So I read Serpents in the Wings of Night for 24-hour reading challenge, and I didn't finish it in that challenge, but I ended up finishing it I think later that week, and I had an okay time with that book, but the ending made me want to pick up this book. So I'm going to hopefully finish this series because it's only the 2 books, and a lot of people say that they like book 1 and they don't like book 2, but I thought book 1 was just okay. So I'm interested in seeing what camp I fall into for this second book, because maybe I'll like it more than the first book, or maybe I won't like it at all and I won't finish it. So it's another hopeful. It's a far stretch hopeful because you see the size of this book. Like, look at it in comparison to my head. That is a chunky book that I don't know if I will get to in this month. I'm going to try to get this done before the end of the year because this is actually not my copy of the book. It is the lovely Sarah's. So we're going to finish it and get it back to her by 2024. And here is the stack of my TBR, both hopefuls as well as books that are actually on my TBR, plus the 2 ebooks, which I will again throw on screen just about right here. But yeah, this is quite a ambitious TBR, but luckily there's only 3 books on my actual TBR, and the rest I don't have to beat myself up if I don't get to. Oh, let me put that down though because it's super heavy. Alrighty, but that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you plan to read this month. Are you a person who is more of a mood reader and you just kind of pick up as you go, or do you set a TBR? I'm always a mood reader, but I'm finding a TBR is really pushing me to get out of my comfort zones and to really get through this ginormous physical TBR that I own. So it's fun. I can switch it up if I need to. I don't hold myself accountable to these books. Sometimes I switch out the prompts. So let me know what you're reading, and if you do a TBR game, do you hold yourself to those books or do you switch out and still fit the prompt? I'm dying to know. But if you like this video and want to see more content like this, please consider leaving me a thumbs up and subscribing to this channel. It really helps me out and lets me know that you want to see more videos like this. But that's it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!